Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been so goddamn long since we've done a Rage Cage, but Zack is about to step in, baby. Zack, how we doing?
I'm angry.
Huh? I'm not happy.
That unpleasant.
So, I have a remedial understanding of this whole Tom Wilson thing. I understand he's had multiple violations. He's had borderline assault. He punched somebody on the ground and then body slammed Artemi Panarin, which ended his season, resulting in a $5,000 fine.
Yeah.
Today, the news comes out that the Rangers, for the statements saying that basically, from my understanding, was that the NHL didn't do enough, that because of that, the Rangers were fined $250,000.
Yes.
What in the fuck is going on?
$250,000. Yeah. So let me break it down for you. So obviously this is the hot topic right now for the NHL because, it's fucking ridiculous that any of this bullshit happened. Chris wrote an article. So obviously I'm going to plug Chris. Chris wrote an article, read the article. But here's the verbal. Basically what happened is in a game against the New York Rangers, Tom Wilson decided to take it on himself to, protect the crease or whatever the fuck he thought he was doing.
Okay.
By sucker punching Pavel Buchnevich in the back of the head while he was on the ground, doing nothing.
That's a fucking name.
Yeah, I know, right? He's a good player too. It's not like he's, fourth liner or whatever, but he's good. But yeah, sucker punch in the back of the head while he's on the ground, no less.
Right.
So that is what he got the fine for. He got the fine for that. He didn't get anything for the next thing I'm about to explain, which is after that, obviously the Rangers are like, yeah, no, you can't do that you're not going to get away with that. So obviously there's a scrum, all that kind of stuff. Artemi Panarin's pissed, so he goes after Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson takes him by the hair. Now, this is the part that a lot of people are missing. He grabs him by the hair and head slams him into the ice, resulting in a concussion, and the rest of the season is just done for Panarin.
Wait. He wasn't fined for that? He was fined for the punch? No,
he was fined for the punch. He was fined for the punch. There was nothing. He got nothing for that. Nothing.
Okay, because I thought $5,000 was a low ball already. That is insane.
So there's this. So this Rage Cage isn't about that specific incident. It's about everything surrounding Tom Wilson and the fact that he's a fucking piece of shit, and the league is coddling him like insane. It's an insane amount of out of anyone. And I did a post about Tom Wilson. It was one of the Soggi stats. He has posted more penalty minutes, more fights, and more suspension, more games suspended than any other player since he was drafted. Period. Sorry, that was.
Yeah, interference. Spent some time in the box. I learned that from James Sucks at Chill. So
yeah.
Continue.
Anyway, so the whole point is that. Oh shit, that's the incident. Now, do I expect anything else from Tom Wilson? No, that's the thing. This is something that you expect him to do. You expect him to be a dirty fucking piece of shit, no good player. But what you don't expect is the league to go, hey, $5,000, toss it in an envelope and send it our way and you're good to go, buddy. Have fun in the playoffs. I'm sorry, what? What? Are you fucking kidding me? Meanwhile, okay, this is all going on, right? So obviously, the game yesterday, they play again. They play the Rangers play the Capitals again. Obviously, they're pissed. They start the game with a line brawl, which it wasn't really even that good of a line brawl. Like it was meh. It was mediocre at best. They weren't even fighting. They were just kind of like doing whatever. But Tom Wilson goes out with an upper body injury, which is complete bullshit. He's not hurt. There's no way he's hurt. They took him out of the game to either protect him or to just settle the game down, which is fucking stupid. Like, you know what? Let him. You need to let him play, and you need to let him fucking get what he deserves. So
fair.
I just the whole game situation and all that kind of shit was stupid. But what happened with him is that, again, like you said, $5,000 fine, and that is all that happened. Meanwhile, you have 2 suspensions that happened after that whole incident. So I want to talk about that because this is why people are so fucking pissed at the league for not suspending Tom Wilson with something like this, right? So
yeah, you said something about a Flyers player that had a lot of consonants in his name and not a lot of vowels.
Right. So what happened is in the game Wednesday, later in the game, the same dude that got sucker punched in the back of the head cross-checked the dude in the face, which again you can't do. He got suspended a game. Right?
Reasonable. Right.
Never doesn't have a history of doing any of that stuff. Gets suspended a game. Shane Gostisbehere of the Flyers, I think also last night, or maybe last night too. Same thing. Cross-checked the dude in the back. They called him for boarding, and they suspended him for 2 games on an empty net goal. He was frustrated. He took it out on the player. He shouldn't have. That's fine. And if you feel as though he needs to be suspended, that's fine. I get that. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been suspended. But George Parros, you're a fucking pussy. You are a fucking pussy. You need to suspend Tom Wilson for that fucking bullshit on the ice, because there's no place in hockey for that. Are you kidding me? You're gonna sucker punch someone in the back of the head and then grab the best player on the team, smack him down on the ice by his hair. Like that's just not something you do. And then on top of that, you're gonna play 5 minutes of the game and go out with an upper body injury because you're too much of a little bitch to take fucking heat. Are you kidding me? So, most of the league is pissed. Now, what I don't get is why the league thinks it's okay to fine the Rangers $250,000 for a statement. Like, I get it. Like, they called out George Parros by name and said he should be fired. Now, that's not by the book. It's not something you should do. But
dude, the Rangers, what? The Rangers have had such a shit go. Like this just today. Because didn't Dolan clear out their GM and the fucking coach or whatever?
Well, so the aftermath of this, which I don't understand.
What?
Can you hear that?
What? I heard the aftermath of this.
I'm getting my text through. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, yeah. So the Rangers ended up firing their president and their GM. And they said it was unrelated. It was unrelated to the statement and the fine and all that, which is, you just know it's complete bullshit. You know they fired. Oh God, shut up. I'm sorry. I'm getting my text messages. My text messages are read aloud, so I don't know if you can hear it or not. But
no, we can't. You just keep stopping.
Oh well, that's amazing then. So I'll just fight through it then. Yeah. So obviously, it's related to the fine. Like you can say it's not all you want, but it is.
It is.
And so, you don't fire your president and your GM for sticking up for your, 2 of your best players on the team, and fucking calling shit what it is, because you're coddling a player that doesn't deserve to be coddled. Tom Wilson is the apex predator in a bad way of the NHL. He's the prime example of a predatory player. He's the prime example of what you don't want in hockey. You want people to be physical, that's fine. And if he was teetering the line most of the time, and sometimes he went over the line, whatever. But that's not even teetering a line. If you grab someone by the hair, slam him down, and give him a concussion, that's not even teetering a line. That's like Todd Bertuzzi type shit, all right? That's fucking ridiculous. And we're talking about, like the late 90s, 2000s Todd Bertuzzi shit, which I don't think you would know, but basically sucker punched a dude and cost him his career.
Damn.
Yeah. And again, that's the kind of shit that doesn't belong in hockey. And Tom Wilson just continues to do it. the Capitals continue to coddle him, and the league just continues to coddle him. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but if you're George Parros, if you're Gary Bettman, how do you not suspend him and then go ahead and suspend the 2 other players the same night that have done something way, way less worse than what Tom Wilson did? I just don't get it. Not to mention, right? A couple weeks ago, not a couple, I would say maybe 2 months ago, he was suspended 7 games for hitting Brandon Carlo in the head. All right? It was an egregious hit. George Parros didn't want to suspend him. George Parros did not want to suspend Tom Wilson. But Gary Bettman had to step in and say, no, you need to suspend him because that's an egregious hit. And so I don't understand why Gary Bettman doesn't come in and do the same thing again. It's just beyond me. But basically, to sum it up, Tom Wilson's a piece of shit. He doesn't deserve to play hockey if he's going to continue to do that to players like Artemi Panarin, Pavel Buchnevich, Brandon Carlo. Like, these are good players. They play the right way, and they don't deserve to get injured like that on plays that, both of those things that he did were after the whistle. You know what I mean? It's not like it's in the heat of the moment, in the game or whatever. No, it's after the whistle. So he's a piece of shit. I really don't fucking care. Most people in the league hate him. And if you're a Capitals fan and you defend him, then you're a fucking idiot.
All right, so here's my questions about this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
This is not a direct question, I guess, or this first part of it is, are the Rangers in a playoff position?
Are the Rangers in a playoff position? So this is a really bizarre question. Not a question. This is going to be a really bizarre answer. So yes, they are. But
okay.
They're not eligible to make the playoffs anymore.
What?
So hear me out, okay? So the way that the league redid the divisions, only 4 teams from each division can make it. And so the Rangers are one of the teams that are getting fucked, at least in my opinion. And I'm sure obviously Rangers fans will agree with me. But looking at a team like the Rangers, so they have more points than some of the other teams that are eventually going to make the playoffs. And I hate this when this happens, but it should just be best record. It should always be just best record. And the divisions are all fucking warped. Looking at a division like the East, you have Bruins, the Capitals, the Penguins, the Islanders, the Flyers, the Rangers. At any given year at this point, the Rangers have been teetering that line for a couple of years, but any given year, the other 5 teams are going to make the playoffs. All 5 of them were in the playoffs last year. Flyers were number 1 seed, and so, the Rangers are still, they're still playing for something. They're still playing for pride. They're still playing for just relevance. They deserve to make the playoffs. They had a good year this year. They deserve to make the playoffs, especially in a division where, you add a team like Boston, you still have to put the Capitals in the Penguin. Not really. No, they're not going to make the playoffs, is the short answer, but they deserved to.
Okay, so in any other year, they would have made the playoffs, correct?
Does that answer your question? I know that was
All right, so
yeah, so if it was the old divisions, my guess would have been they would have made the playoffs. Yeah.
Okay. How as the commissioner or whoever this fucking dude is with a P, I forget his name. How can you allow someone who's a star?
He's the head of player safety.
All right. Head of player safety. As the head of player safety for the NHL, how can you let a star like Artemi Panarin, who's a top tier talent, am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're not. He is
okay.
I would argue he's a top 10 player in the league.
How can you allow him to get injured and attacked like that when you realize, like, and remove a star from a league when you realize that Gen Z is in love with boxing, like is revitalizing boxing, and boxing is now biting your ass as like a top tier sport for the next generation. How can you allow a star of the game to get attacked like that and not let anything happen?
Well, so
you get what I'm trying to say with that?
So I get what you're trying to say, but I feel like the argument itself works against what you're trying to go with. Because think about it like this: if the Gen Z or whatever is trying to revitalize boxing, wouldn't you want that kind of violence?
Well, yes, but I'm saying like you want your stars on the ice, right? You want your stars out
correct.
there.
You do. You would think it would be like that, but don't forget. So, obviously I know you don't watch a lot of hockey, so I'm not going to expect you to know this, but George Parros was an enforcer, and he himself liked to teeter the line every now and again when he played. He played for the Ducks. Actually, it's the only team I think he ever played for. I don't know if he played for any other teams, but so having him in that position is an interesting choice right off the bat. But the fact that he is protecting someone of his status is just bias. It's just complete and utter bias. I mean, one day he's gonna have to realize that, like you can still be physical, you can still do all this other shit, but you can't physically assault someone like that on the ice. Like that was basically an assault. I mean, punching and all that kind of shit is fine.
Basically, I would say that is a straight up assault.
Yeah. I mean, you don't grab someone by the hair and fucking flip him down on the ice. He injured him. I don't think that George Parros is grasping the situation, and I think Gary Bettman is just letting him get away with it. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, James, but I think you have to realize who's in charge and what their perspective is. And basically, I at least this is my point, is that I think George Parros is trying to protect him because he wants to keep the game like that. Not so people get hurt. Not so people get hurt. So that the game is still very physical. Because, I mean, for a while, people have been calling, to cut fighting out and all that kind of stuff in hockey. And it's just not going to happen. So I think you're getting a little backlash here from a guy like George Parros, who's like, nah, it's scrum. But again, he's the head of player safety, so he sets that line, right? Most of us know that was not okay. Most of us know that wasn't just a scrum or anything like that. That was an assault. That was fucking assault, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't see it like that because that's the way he used to play hockey. But it's not 19, whatever. It's 2021. It's a different style of hockey, and you can be physical and you can teeter the line all you want, but that's not even close to the line. That is just completely, utterly over the line. And quite frankly, George Parros should be embarrassed with himself.
Okay. So that ties into my second question. I was going to say, or statement, I guess, in this case, but I was going to say, doing a little research on what was actually going on, reading through Twitter, a lot of the Twitter responses were, oh, this is just, classic hockey, it's just violent. It's a violent sport.
Yeah.
You're saying, fuck that. It is a violent sport, but there's a fine line between slamming someone on the ice, ending their season, which we've seen. I mean, we saw, how long ago was it when Sidney Crosby was still young in his career? He got that concussion and it fucked him up for a while. Right?
Yeah, well, right, exactly. So, you do have to be careful. So, I have to go. Shit. Sorry, there's a skunk in the backyard. I gotta fucking be careful. I just parked, but I saw a skunk run in the backyard, so I just have to sit here for a second. But, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, little interjections. It's a little soggy flair. You have to be careful with stuff like that. I mean, I'm going to separate something like Sidney Crosby. So if there is something that egregious and it causes an injury, it's one thing. But if it's a play where, it's like, it's a good hit, it's a clean hit, and it results in a concussion, that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm
So-
more using the Sidney Crosby point of saying, like, well, he could have, for a good amount of time, ruined Panarin's career.
Well, right. We have to see. Wait and see what happens with Artemi Panarin. I mean, you know, we need to see if there's any repercussions from the concussion, and if there's any lingering side effects for him. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, you get a concussion almost instantaneously after hitting the back of your head off the ice like that. I mean, fucking lettuce or not. I mean, it's not going to protect him from a thick sheet of ice. But
No.
what am I trying to say here? I think that it's another tough spot again because it's Artemi Panarin. It's a guy who is a star in the league, and it proves further a point that if they cared about the stars of the league, they'd actually do something to protect them, and they're not. They're just not.
Fair enough. I have no disagreements with you, Zach.
Again, Gary Bettman has to step in and suspend Tom Wilson for a hit on a budding star in Brandon Carlo. And again, if you're on another team, you don't know Brandon Carlo, that's fine. But Brandon Carlo is going to be the next cornerstone defenseman of the Bruins. Whether you like it or not, he's going to be. Him and Charlie McAvoy. So, you're going after a guy like that. Now, people are going to say, oh, well, Artemi Panarin went after Tom Wilson. Yeah, no shit, because he fucking sucker punched his teammate in the back of the head. Wouldn't you do that if you were on his team?
Yeah, you got to stand up for your guys.
Right, and that's the thing. Artemi Panarin knows he's going up against a guy like Tom Wilson, and that's fine. But you don't expect to get hair grabbed and slammed to the ice by your hair. That's not something that happens. That's not something that should happen in hockey. So, it's not part of a scrum. It's not the boys are being boys. This is something completely different. There's no place for it in fucking hockey. He's just scum. He's a scum.
I couldn't agree with you more, Zach. I could not agree with you more. But
yeah,
I think that's the full thoughts for what we have on this video. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Just wanted to get it out there. Like, I mean, you just go back and watch the video and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it was after the whistle. They're right around the net, and that's fine. You can go in, you can protect the crease all you want, protect your netminder, but you can't take it to that level. I mean, it happened a good solid minute or two after the whistle was blown. There's scrums, there's all that kind of stuff, and it's good for hockey. It's good to have scrums, it's good to have fights, it's good to be physical, but you can't take it to that next level. You cannot physically fucking assault someone like that. It's just not okay.
No, it's not. But anyway, thank you. Jesus. I mean, that was entertaining, Zach. I learned so much there. A lot of names. Thank you all for joining us on this Rage Cage. We're glad we did this again, Zach. You know where to find us at Boda Sports, on YouTube as you're watching this right now, and on Instagram and Twitter. So check us out. Also, check out our podcast by searching Boda Sports everywhere you listen to podcasts. It's not fucking Stitcher. So,
guys, check out the Twitter page though. I'm gonna plug this real quick. It's my goal to annoy the absolute living fuck out of James. It's day 2. It's going really well. Continue to follow the thread. So check out the new segment.
Thank y'all. See you next time. Stay beautiful. Zach, say it.
Stay soggy.
Damn, I thought you weren't gonna say it. Stay beautiful. All right, Zach, you're up, baby. How do you want to run this? How do you want me to fucking trim this? Do you want me to like host it and just let you rant, rage cage style?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I would say kind of like go attack it kind of like you don't know what's going on and I need to explain the situation, and then almost kind of like go into what I think about it. Maybe that would work.
Yeah, let's do it. It's already recording, so we'll just chop up the whole beginning part of this.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I know. I think I'll toss this up for YouTube content too. Obviously I'm driving, so I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but sorry, I don't know if you can see my face or whatever, but I mean, it'll still be good if we put the content up on YouTube anyways. People can listen to it at least.
No, I agree for sure.
The cop, the security guard at the school is watching the Bruins game. I just drove by. It's out on the TV, sitting next to him. That's funny.
It just ended.
Anyway.
I think they won 4-0.
Yeah, they won 4-0.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right.
they steamed the Rangers.
You ready, Zach?
Looking off into the distance, thinking about you.
He fucking froze before we even start this thing. He's frozen.
He's like, I think I'm laying in bed.